Hey guys, it's Action Violence here. I'm gonna make it nice and quick for you guys. I know it's late. We got a fun bare knuckle card. Some fights on, some fights not. Some fights not. So we'll start off with Matilda Wilson versus Melanie Shaw. Melanie Shaw, well, she uh, she doesn't really have any experience. Opposed to Matilda Wilson, she has a little more experience, especially in bare knuckle. So this will be interesting. I'll show you guys what they look like on the scale. Both not looking in incredible shape, but I do think Matilda um, seems a little more fierce. I do think she'll get this one done. I think I have I'll probably have one, 2, or 3 units on her, depending. We'll see. But yeah, moving on, we have Anthony Falker versus Dan Robson. Um, It's a weird fight. Dan Robson definitely looks like like a machine. Like, definitely doesn't look like a pushover. Like, if he comes at you and he gets his way, I feel like he could win this fight. But I'm still gonna go with Volker. Odds are allowing me to still play him, so I'm gonna play him. Maybe 1 to 2 units, probably. Volker's, I feel like he's got this in the bag, though. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight. This is one of the ones I'm most looking forward to. Moving on, we have Will Cairns versus Liam Wilson. That's later in the card. Liam Cairns is Will Cairns is a bit of well, we'll say, yeah. Like, that's actually like bad. Like, this is literally not fair. Like, who even signed this to be okay? That's so crazy. And they sanctioned this. Like, look at that. What's that on his neck? Like, man, this is crazy. They'll let anybody fight, I swear. Anyways, lock of the card. What kind of odds can I get that guy at? Negative 900. Yeah. Trying to see if there's any more. Yeah, so those would be my locks, and then Brown. But Brown is not there, so probably gonna have to make do with that. Or we're gonna have to do combine lays. We'll see. I don't know, guys. There's a lot I'm gonna have to debate with this card. But yeah, that's crazy. Moving on, we have Danny Christie. He's gonna destroy Darren Godfrey. In my opinion, Darren Godfrey does not do well with pressure, and that's all Danny Christie does is pressure. So that's a recipe for disaster. Um, Lee Brown is not fighting Jay Kerr anymore. He is fighting a Oompa Loompa. Like, what is this? Where do they find these people? He's going to win very decisively. Next is Lewis Keane versus Louis Sheriff. Now, this is a weird fight for me. I'm going to go with the talent in Keane here, but the grit and experience does go to Sheriff. But just to be safe, I'm going to go with Keane. as a prediction. I do think he's got this one in the bag, being the more technical boxer. But we'll see. Maybe being in more bare knuckle fights has a advantage for Louis. Um, Moving on, we have David Round versus Nathan Owens. Now, I thought Nathan Owens was a canned, and he isn't the most credentialed, but he definitely is in good shape, and I'm not gonna sleep on that. Still taking Round to win, but I'm gonna keep that in mind for my bet, just because I can't afford Round to gas out, you know. But yeah, moving on, we have Tom Scott versus John Ferguson, another lock. It's gonna be a first round finish. Mark my words. I'm gonna see if we can get good odds on that because that's gonna be probably one of my biggest plays. I just don't think this is a fair matchup at all. There's a lot of mismatches on this card. Moving on though, we have Darren Henry versus Anthony Holmes. One of the most probably anticipated scraps of the night. Henry's pressure is probably what's gonna win this fight, though. I think Henry's a really good fighter and a nice up and comer in the bare knuckle scene. I think he's gonna win this fight, although it is a close fight. So I'm gonna still edge my guy, but I'm not gonna be like throwing a bunch of money on it. I think Henry's gonna win this quite convincingly, though. And now we have the main event. We have Mick Terrell versus Steve Banks, I believe his name is. Yeah, Stephen Banks. Now Mick Terrell, he's got a win over Shoemaker, which is cool. He lost to Arnold Al in the second round, and I do feel like Stephen Banks. I do think he's good enough to get the win, and I'm going to go with Mick Terrell here, but I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Banks. I think Banks could somehow pull an upset. For that reason, I'm going to sprinkle on this fight, but I would not advise betting a lot on Terrell or anything. So I'll give you guys my quick picks back again. We got screw it, too confusing. I'm gonna give you guys my top 5 most confident predictions. So at number 1, we obviously have Liam Wilson. Number 2, we have Danny Christie. Number 3, we have Tom Scott. Number 4, we have Lee Brown, whoever he's fighting. And number 5, we have either Darren Henry or David Round, I believe. Or Matilda Wilson. Tie for 5th. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, have the plays up tomorrow morning, and yeah, it'll be a fun card. I can guarantee it. See you guys. See you tomorrow.